Okay, I should be live. Let me just make sure that I can. Let me make sure that my audio is working, and I do have an announcement to make on my cast, but I want to make sure everything's working first. I should have done this differently. All right. All right. Everything's working. I don't cast in just chatting. I don't like this category in the least. My headphones are off because I am not going to be paying attention to any alerts. I'm half tempted to turn them off because of what I have to say about this. There's a new feature on Twitch that I'm sure most, if not everyone, is aware of. It just went into beta today. And it is Twitch streamer subscriber streams, I think is what they call it. And I also kind of have to. I don't like to talk about politics on my channel. I really don't. I don't like to talk about it because it is a vitriol subject, and it turns the chat into a toxic sludge. But my back is against the wall. I have to do this. I'm going to be breaking my own rules that I actually have in my own stream, because otherwise I can't even make this announcement. So right off the bat, I have to essentially say a few things about my political views. I'm not going to go into great details. I'm just going to give you the bare essentials of what you need for this announcement. I don't particularly subscribe to any form of extremist. I'm not an extremist capitalist. I'm not an extremist socialist. I'm not an extremist in any sense of the word. I believe that true political views need to be balanced. And I generally view humanity as being imbalanced, and that's part of the reason why we have the problems that we do. Now, the reason why I'm stating this is simple. I don't believe in premium programming. Period. I don't particularly view it as morally right to actually charge someone money for hearing the word shit or fuck on HBO or Showtime, or seeing nudity on HBO or Showtime. I don't believe in charging viewers a premium for essentially watching a program. Way back before I was even born, TV used to be free, okay? Much in the same way that Twitch used to be free. I say that because their new program / feature, tool, whatever the hell you want to call it, charges people for viewing streams. Now, it's completely up to the broadcaster of whether or not they want to use this. And it can include VIPs that can watch it, mods, but again, that's up to the discretion of the streamer. I am very much against this tool even existing, okay? Let alone its use. So I kind of view it in that light, but again, I don't take any forms of extremes. About as far as I'm willing to go with it is saying that I will essentially vote with my wallet and my follows, meaning that I will unsub and unfollow any channel that actually does this. You want to run those kind of streams? Feel free to. Your channel is your own, but do not expect your audience to essentially reciprocate and say, okay, we're on board with this. Because I'm saying this out loud to anyone that I follow. I'm not on board with this. I will never be on board with this. If money was the only thing that was important to me, I would not have what you see on the bottom, which is a never-ending charity. Okay? That benefits St. Jude. That has existed before my subscribe button ever appeared on my stream. I might have not have actually used that pop-up thing, but the charity itself has existed. On top of that, I've been streaming for almost 4 years, 5 next year, which means I've gone almost the better half of a decade without getting paid. I've never had a tip button, and I've only just recently got a sub button. I would not be streaming for years on end if money was the ultimate goal. Having said that, this channel will never actually go into subscribe stream mode, whatever the hell they want to call it. I simply won't be using that. And this channel won't actually be supporting any channel that actually uses the subscribe stream. Because I don't subscribe, ironically, to that philosophical notion that everything has to be attached to $1. I know there are streamers that disagree with this. And to those streamers, all I can say is best of luck. We will be parting ways. I'm trying not to be judgmental about this, but it's really difficult for me to not be because of how vitriol I actually feel about the tool itself. So, it's very difficult for me to actually kind of separate my emotions from my opinions in this. They're meshed. So for that reason being, the best thing for me to do is to essentially leave a community. Otherwise, it's going to cause issues. And I'm not going to really do that until I see someone actually use that feature. But this is also an announcement to Twitch. I'm voting with my wallet here. Okay? I'm not going to say that you should or shouldn't do this because it is your platform. It definitely goes against my personal views, to say the least. But I will not be supporting any channel that uses this feature, either through follows or through subscriptions. And before you say, oh, well, you can still be gifted subs against your will. No, I can't. Because I actually have it set up within my settings not to accept any gift subs of any channel I am not following. Which means that if you actually do that kind of stuff, not only will I not be willing to pay for subscriptions to your channels, I'm not even going to accept a gift that's free. Alright? So if money were the ultimate goal in that kind of venue, you're not going to get anything from me. And yes, I still realize that you'll probably get gift subs from other people and that it won't really affect some channels to any degree. I'm not alone in this, though. There are other people that are probably going to leave the platform entirely. Now, before you say, oh, this is petty, I may not completely subscribe to any one philosophical viewpoint, but one thing I do recognize is that part of capitalism, which is what Twitch is at least mostly built upon, relies on people voting with their wallet. I'm not calling for anyone to boycott Twitch or anything like that, because I intend on continuing streaming on the platform. But I do intend to tell people to think about what they support. You know, is that something you want to see going forward? For me, no. I don't see how that could actually go well for any channel. I have no intention on splitting my community. For this reason alone. I'm not even having my chat in follower only mode or sub only mode for this particular conversation. But that being said, I don't believe in separating the community as far as non-subs and subs go. I don't I don't believe in that to any huge degree. I mean, I can understand putting a chat in sub only mode if you're being botted and there's no way to truly moderate your chat because it's tapping continuously. I understand that. I understand that if you have like 7,000 people in chat that throw your chat in sub only mode. Yeah, there are some things I understand, but to be able to view it, to me, that's just low. It is, and I can't actually support the use of that tool or anyone that would use it. But rather than go on some kind of rant or rampage, which this is kind of already feeling like, I just feel like saying I'm not going to support it. I can't bring myself to do that. My channel has always been one of advocacy, one of charity, one of helping people. You know, that's partly why there's a charity on my screen. That's partly why I advocate single player video games. That's why I decide to avoid playing a video game just because it's big and popular. I'm more like, let me take a step back and see if it's actually worth my money. That's why I avoid video games that have loot crates, loot boxes, DLC, patches. I'm a big fan of customer customer appeal and essentially beholding to customers to a degree. You know, and as much as I hate to think of anyone that's viewing my channel as a customer, you know, subscriptions aren't free, and I have to acknowledge that. You know, I have to acknowledge that to a degree I'm selling a product, even if only in theory. I'm huge into customer advocacy for at least that purpose. I'm into customer advocacy because any video game you actually see pop up on the screen or pop up behind me, I paid for. I don't have companies sponsoring me. You know, I don't. So, if I've been doing this for years and I don't have companies sponsoring me, and this is the first year I've had a sub button, I can promise you it's not the money. If it were purely the money, you would have seen a tip button instead of a donation button for St. Jude. You would have seen like goal markers or whatever plastered everywhere on my stream. I've never done that. And for this reason, I will never actually use that subscriber streamer only mode, you know, or subscriber stream only mode. You know, I'm more of an advocate for that, and being that I'm an advocate for essentially consumers and I'm an advocate for charity, I cannot abide by the existence or use of this particular tool. I just can't support it. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to bullshit you. And I'm not going to ignore this. Because this is pretty much the first stream since this news broke out on my channel. And I normally don't make announcements live on stream. I don't even keep this channel into just chatting. I keep this channel in this format of purely video games so that so that I can entertain others, be entertained. But this affects every one of us on the platform. And to be completely honest, this is not the first time I've seen this. I saw it on YouTube. And this is why I stopped being a YouTuber. And I'm completely serious. I just this year returned to the platform, other than using it as well, it was last year, in fact, late last year, that I just returned to the platform, other than using it as an archive for my Twitch streams. For almost 5-ish years, I used YouTube just as an archive. And the reason why I took a step back is I saw all that subscription bullshit. and I did not want to have any part of it. Now, Twitch had a subscription service, and still does, for things like Twitch Turbo, Twitch Prime, individual channels. But the individual channels, they didn't blockade their content. Okay? And I was like, okay, well, at least I can view their channels. At least I can view their content. I don't care how entertaining you are. I don't care how much I personally like you. I don't care how funny you are. I will not be paying a premium for your content. If I pay, it's because I'm already watching your content. And if anyone says, oh, that's petty, there is this one little piece of capitalism that I do firmly believe in. And that's that how I spend my money is my own business. And if I decide that a person and or business is not reflective of my personal viewpoints, then I have every right to revoke my support of that person and or business. And every Twitch streamer within the United States is considered to be a small business owner. And I'm going to use that viewpoint and reflect it upon every single streamer. That being said, I don't blame the streamers for this tool being released. I blame Twitch. There is a certain amount of disgust and anger with me about this. I cannot be ignorant of that. I cannot ignore it. I thought long and hard about even hitting the live button for this announcement. I thought about whether or not this was purely an emotional drive. And then I thought about why I took a massive step away from YouTube. And I realized it was the same reason. Now, if there's anyone in the chat that wants to discuss this, questions, comments, feel free. And before you ask as to why I will never essentially make a subscribe only stream, I'm not out to whore my own channel. I'm not out to make a buck. Yeah, it'd be nice if you paid me, but it's never going to be necessary on this channel. Just never going to be necessary. I keep things humble. I'm grateful for every follow, every view, every host, every auto host, every tweet, every retweet, every like. With the exception of bots, I'm grateful for every single person that comes to my cast. If you're going to stream, you have to be humble about it. You cannot feel as though you're owed something. And I'm seeing a lot of people feeling, what's the word for it? Entitled to subscriptions. I've seen it even before this actually came up. Okay, I've seen a lot of it. And it was the kind of thing that if it popped up, I left the channel and I never returned. And I'm getting that feeling with this. So, now I'm going to take all questions and comments. Okay, since there doesn't seem to be any activity in the chat, which I'm fine with, I will leave some closing statements. My channel, so long as I am the operator of it, will never use that system. It will never use anything to kick out people from watching my content. just short of banning someone from violating my rules and or Twitch etiquette and TOS. Just short of that, I will never kick someone out. Ideally, my channel would never leave follower only mode. And before anyone asks, oh, you're separating your, before anyone makes a statement of, oh, you're separating your community, not in the least, because follows are free. Twitch doesn't charge anything for follows. Yet.